So UFC 283 just took place, and we have a new light heavyweight champion of the world, Jamal Hill. Now, I was very, very wrong on my prediction for that one. I predicted Glover by second round submission. I thought his grappling would be too much. I thought he'd push for the takedown a little bit more, and I thought he'd be able to hold Jamal Hill down, which he just couldn't. But, I'm even more shocked because I thought if Jamal Hill wins, it's probably going to be a big flush KO, early in the fight. I did not see Jamal Hill just piecing up Glover for 5 rounds, winning every single round. So I'm shocked and I'm impressed. I'm very impressed by Jamal Hill. He's done very well for himself in that fight, and good on him. Congratulations to Jamal Hill, new light heavyweight champion of the world. But I just want to give more of a, not really a breakdown of the fight, but just a breakdown of potential in the light heavyweight division now that we have a new champion in Jamal Hill, a young champion, a fun fighter to watch. I just want to give a breakdown of what I think might happen in the division and kind of what my ideal scenario. This might not happen, but just more of my ideal scenario of what I would love to happen at light heavyweight. So Jamal Hill's just won. I would love for him to wait a little bit before he defends. In the meantime, you've got a rematch, Jan Blachowicz and Magomed Ankalaev. They can fight. Jamal Hill can sit out for a little bit. I don't think there's any other really clear-cut contenders that have earned a shot at the belt. Alex Pereira. I'm going to bring in Alex Pereira to this occasion, to this situation. He is set to rematch Adesanya, most likely. I've got another prediction for that. I'll put out a prediction for that later if that gets announced. I do think he wins that matchup for the second time in MMA, fourth time total. But let's say he does rematch Adesanya. He wins. He gets the knockout. I don't think he'll stick around at middleweight. I think middleweight is a dangerous division for him because, below Adesanya, you know what I mean? Adesanya is an ideal matchup for him. Someone who's going to strike, someone who doesn't have the grappling knowledge to really get him down and finish him. But below Adesanya, you've got dudes like Whitaker, who could probably take down and hold down Pereira and maybe even submit him. Dudes like Vettori, who could take down and hold down Pereira. You know what I mean? You've got all these dudes who could potentially beat him in a matchup because he's just so new to MMA and grappling. And you have these guys at middleweight who have been grappling for a long time. So I think, he might leave middleweight. I think the cut is also very big for him. And obviously, in glory, he fought at light heavyweight. He won a belt at light heavyweight. You know what I mean? So he can definitely fight up. I think he's big enough. And I think the top of those divisions, you know what I mean? Minus Ankalaev. But I think that division is wide open for him right now. Because you've got a bit of a hold up. I think if he wasn't rematching Adesanya, I would say he should just straight up move up, fight Jamal Hill. I think that's a great matchup for him. Someone who will strike with him, someone who's a scrappy, someone who he can hit. I think he could win that matchup. But I do think he will rematch Adesanya most likely. And I think Jamal Hill might end up just waiting for Jiri Prochazka to come back because Jiri has earned a immediate rematch. So my kind of ideal situation is I was so sure that Glover would win against Jamal Hill, and I'm kind of glad he hasn't because it's opened up the division. My ideal situation, Jamal Hill waits for Jiri to come back. Jiri comes back from injury. Jiri beats Jamal Hill impressively. A fun fight. Jiri wins. Jiri as champion is fun. In the meantime, Adesanya beats Pereira at middleweight, decides, listen, I'm not going to wait for these contenders. A lot of them are quite bad matchups for me. I beat Adesanya, done what I came to do, and he decides he's going to move up to light heavyweight. Then we would have Jiri Prochazka versus Alex Pereira for the light heavyweight championship. You'd have Pereira potential to be double champ in the UFC like he was in glory, simultaneous double champ. And I just, man oh man, that would be a fantastic fight. And you know what? Again, a very, very, very winnable fight for Alex Pereira. I could see him piecing Jiri up, Jiri is very wild. He takes a lot of shots. He's got big power. I think Pereira would have to be wary of that with the little gloves. But Pereira has a solid chin. I know he got rocked by Izzy, but he's got a good chin. But man, that's a that division is wide open for Poatan, man. It's wide open for Poatan because a lot of these guys below, they're probably not going to get the shot. And if he beats Adesanya comfortably and wants to move up, I don't think he has to build his body up. I think he could just move up. He's a big dude. He probably cuts too much weight to get to middleweight. I think all he has to do is move up, and he could get a potential Jiri Prochazka or even Jamal Hill matchup. And either one of those matchups is so winnable for him. They're both very winnable fights for him. And they're just fun scraps. I'd love to see him at light heavyweight, especially now. And then he could fight more at light heavyweight. He could leave. That's my ideal situation for the light heavyweight division. So yeah, that's about it. See you.